Okay, welcome back to the Psychological Paradigm Shift podcast. I hope you found the last episode informational and helpful. I am Ed Rieger, your host, and people have told me to explain who I am as part of the introduction. I'm the creator of the Psychological Paradigm Shift movement. You can find the entire layout of the movement on my website, psychologicalparadigmshift.com. And on the website, you'll learn what the mission of the movement is, the books I've written, the laws I am beginning to release, the podcast episodes, and you will be able to follow my political activities when we launch. Always remember, I am only providing my personal opinion based on my experiences and education on psychological topics. We will be talking about mental illness in a very blunt way, in a very transparent manner. The topics may be disturbing to some, and it is never my intent to hurt anyone, only to share my ideas and thoughts. Tonight we're going to cover suicide attempts and the questions you may want to ask your potential romantic partner. Okay, suicide attempts. This is one of those categories of questions that I think is going to, be a very delicate subject to discuss with your potential romantic partner. But suicide attempts are a major red flag of severe psychological distress. You must know the history of your potential romantic partner's attempts or their family members' attempts before you can ever conceive having a long-term relationship with them. This is one of those big secrets that can make or break your commitment to the relationship. Unfortunately for some, the biology of the brain is so complicated, and because scientists know so little about it, we just do not understand the true reasoning behind the neuroscience of why some people suffer from severe depression to the point of trying to commit suicide or committing it. Depression isn't the only cause of suicide attempts. There are other factors that cause people to attempt or do commit suicide. Lack of access to mental health services is one. High rates of poverty or financial stress, gender inequality and discrimination, excessive alcohol usage, easy access to weapons. I would put another factor in here that I believe is very big, and that's a lack of education when it comes to psychological disorders and the causes of them. I'll discuss this at the end of this podcast episode a little more. According to NSDUH, the National Survey of Drug Use and Health, in 2023 did a study and found that 1.5 million U.S. citizens attempted suicide. Youth risk behavior surveys from the same year reported that 9% of all high school students attempted suicide. There's 17 million high school students in the U.S. That's 1.5 million high school students who attempted suicide. Even if that number was half that, how alarming and troubling is it for current and future generations of our young people? In 2023, the CDC, NSDUH, found that an estimated 12.8 million adults seriously considered suicide, and 3.7 million made a suicide plan. Because of the high number of young people and adults who are suffering so severely from psychological issues, you can see why it's so critical for you to have a frank, blunt conversation with any potential serious romantic relationship. You need to know where they've been psychologically, where they are, and where they may be in the future, which, if you make a commitment to them, is your future. This category is very straightforward and direct, and it will not take much time to get through them. You'll see that these questions have backgrounds in other podcast episodes we've done: psychiatric treatment, alcohol and drug usage, criminal activity, weapon ownership. We see how mental illness is meshed together when it comes to suicide attempts. One other point I wanted to make is chaos chasers, as they get older and start to realize the unbelievable abuse they've perpetrated on family and others, may be a reason that causes severe depression that professionals may not be looking at. Maybe the guilt is another factor in their decision to try and commit suicide or committing it. Okay, let's get started. Have you ever attempted suicide? Boy, that's a big question. That's a hard question. That's a serious secret to want to keep. So I think it's a difficult one. What age were you when you attempted suicide? How many times have you attempted? How did you attempt it? Did you receive psychiatric treatment for the attempt? Are you currently taking any medications because of your suicide attempt? Has any of your parents attempted suicide? When I was young, a young boy, my mother attempted suicide by using a car. She wrecked it on purpose. And the wound she experienced changed her life and my siblings' lives forever. We became immediate caretakers of an alcoholic parent who was suffering from major depression and other suicidal factors. We were unaware at the time that she tried to commit suicide, but it's something that we learned as time went on. How many times have your parents tried to commit suicide? Did they die of suicide? Have any of your siblings ever attempted suicide? How many times? Did they pass away because of it? Did any of your grandparents ever attempt suicide? How many times? Did any of them pass away because of suicide? Has any of your children ever attempted suicide? How did they attempt it? If any suicide attempts were committed by family members, did they receive psychiatric treatment? You can see how difficult these questions will be for anyone, no matter if they are mentally healthy or mentally ill. But you are trying to create a lifelong relationship with this person, and you deserve to know their real histories, and they need to know yours. Especially, before either one of you move forward with a total commitment, knowing the histories is going to be important. Because of these life experiences and the traumas I've experienced in my life, especially at a very young age, I believe 100% that we are doing a disservice to our young people and all of society if we do not educate our youth in psychology and neurosciences of the brain. That's why I created the first law, PEA, Psychological Education Act of 2024, to combat mental illness directly with mass education about it. I believe psychological education should be mandated in all public schools, starting in kindergarten through the 12th grade. We have to educate all our citizens to the symptoms and causes of depression and all mental illnesses so they can take better care of themselves and help take better care of each other. That's the only way we can change the psychological paradigm of everyone in America And that's the way that America can help the rest of the world change their paradigm. Okay, we're going to stop there. Thank you for sharing time with me tonight. I hope this information was helpful to you as we progress through our psychological paradigm shift. Remember, you can go to the website, psychologicalparadigmshift.com, and I'll post updates when I have them, and you can sign up to receive future information. I look forward to next week's episode. It's going to be on relationships to exes currently. Take care of yourselves.